They didn't. Okay. I don't know why we're doing YouTube.
So it's on right there.
Yeah. Can you come? Well, we'll just get started anyways as people hop on in here. Well, first of all, Coach, how are you doing? Is it going to be the same answer as always, or is it going to be different this time around?
Yeah, I'm doing good right now.
Wait, I think that is new. Maybe.
That is new. Doing well.
There we go.
Yeah.
Well, obviously, coming off of a really big series against your former side that you were an assistant for in the Shreveport Mudbugs, that's got to feel really good getting another sweep over them.
Yeah, it's awesome. Just the fact that the team played a pretty complete weekend. That's what excites me. You know, it doesn't matter who the opponent is. In my mind, I just enjoy that the fact that the boys really put two games together and had success out of it, and had a couple of really good victories, battling all the way to the last penalty shot. You know.
Yeah, exactly. Well, that was a really close game on Friday night. Kind of take us through that one, and gotta turn some levels down here. But take us through that Friday game where, I mean, often seemed like it was buzzing the entire time, and it really wasn't until that third period where things started to click. I mean, obviously full credit to Hodges in that for Shreveport making a lot of big saves, but as well, Charles giving us a big platform to come back into that game and tie it up as well.
Yeah, I mean, Charles let up one there early in the first period. It was interesting to see a goal review and everything like that. What I saw on my end, it was a good goal, so credit to that guy for scoring the goal. But after that, Gerard was pretty sound in the end, really steady. And he gave us an opportunity throughout the rest of that game to claw back and be able to, ultimately get a goal in the third period and push for OT in the shootout.
Yeah, and take us through that shootout as well, because only one shootout goal was needed, which usually you don't see that, where you're getting out of a shootout with just one goal in the back of the net. Kind of describe to us why that move for Alphonse Chandler is exactly what you need when it comes to the shootout goal.
Yeah, I mean, we practice it every week, so for us as a coaching staff, we kind of go through and evaluate who is scoring goals on our own goaltenders, and we had, I believe Lupo had the first shot, right? So he went up and he actually has won like two of the last three shootouts in practice, and Alphonse has always been a really steady guy in the top three. So I'm like, well, Lupo, like, it's a good opportunity, and he had a great effort on it though, but he missed, and Alphonse picked up what he wasn't able to do, and that's why we practice it every week. And guys, it's also fun just going one-on-one on a goalie like that. So good competitive edge, and every player that goes in on that is, and whether it's a game or practice, it's a really serious thing trying to get that goal one on 0. So very exciting though, and the way that Gentler was able to get the goalie down on his knees and kind of go around him on his backhand.
Yeah, and then moving on to Saturday night, I mean, that was just an explosive night. I mean, I think the notion from a lot of the fans was that we would expect a really close game Saturday after how Friday went. And it was at the start. Really, what was the key to that explosive second period that carried into the third?
I mean, it was just an effort of the guys sticking into what the system is and the way that we demand them to play out there. And they did a really good job of not losing focus after giving one late in that first period on that Saturday game, and Shreveport ties it 1-1 going into the second. Our guys did a really good job at regrouping themselves. We definitely evaluated that goal against and looked at the faults in our game on that with the guys in between periods, and I think it helped them moving forward, knowing that we had a very, very good first period, and then have a couple of mistakes that we took off, and they capitalized on it. And our guys, they had a little bit, 3-goal period there. In the second, making it 4-1, and just good opportunities, and the way that our guys were doing the little things right, and the way that they were executing forechecks and everything like that, and having really good details to their game. So it was awesome seeing the guys really buy into what the team's needs are there.
Well, your best buddies with Shreveport Bloodbugs head coach Jason Campbell. Did you guys have anything to say to each other after you got another sweep over him?
No, I mean, it's just a good game. He's always just a really good guy. And, I love him, and I said on the radio show last week, it's always bittersweet going against one of your good friends and stuff that you worked with, and but ultimately you want to get the 2 points for your group. And he just, I told him good weekend, safe travels, and he complimented our group on our win and everything like that. So he's a really great human being, and just a class act of a human.
Yeah, well, switching outside of what's on the ice, full reveal today of the alternate identity for those who haven't seen it. And Coach, I gotta say, it's pretty nice.
Yeah, I like it. You got like the denim top looking at the plaid and everything. I think it's a combination of like 3 things, like funny.
Hopefully, it'll be a little bit better with that.
It looks like we're live now.
Yeah.
Beauty.
No, we're not. Oh, there we go. Oh, apologies about that, folks. Got it all fixed up here. But yeah, so kind of shifting back to, the games Friday and Saturday. More on an individual level. I mean, obviously, Caden Haggerty and Daniel Resega were 4-point nights, but if you had to pick somebody who was kind of, one of those guys who, maybe isn't getting, multi-point night, or really just somebody that impressed you who might not have got it on the score sheet where you meant, wow, either their defensive game or their forecheck really did a lot for us and might not have gotten noticed because they might not have had, a 4-point night at the end of the night.
Yeah, I think there's a handful of guys that you could put in that category. Tyler Zuklis had a pretty good couple of games, and he's only been back for, a little bit now since his injury. And Mason Lupo also, he's here with us tonight. He's one of those guys that falls in that category. We put our goaltender, Charles Girard, who is completely sound and steady, letting up 1.5 goals against average on the weekend. And it's, I could probably put 4 or 5 guys in that category, who just weren't on the score sheet as much, but we're making an impact. And that's really, what the team's needs are, and guys really coming in and buying into that kind of lifestyle for being a pro. And I think the guys are doing a really good job at kind of figuring that out, and the locker room's doing a good job at steering the ship a little bit better here lately.
Yeah, well, I'm going to ask you this. I call it tricks of the trade almost a little bit, because we brought in a few guys on trades, and they've really kind of proven to be a big addition to this team for depth. Well, let's first start with first guy that comes to mind. Kind of joined earlier in the season as well. Played over in Aberdeen. I mean, obviously you know Scott Langer over in Aberdeen. Did you kind of have?
Going to Facebook. No.
You just gotta leave it here.
Okay. This is crazy.
Yeah, well, it's dead right now.
Click on the Wi-Fi down there.
Those are connected.
Oh, that's climbing.
Yeah, that's really bad. Oh, there we go. It's getting better.
Okay.
Looks like it's connected.
Yeah. Okay, there we go. Oh, I don't know. As I always say, technology gremlins at work and trying to disrupt things. That's the common terminology we use in the broadcasting world whenever we're having network issues or any tech issues. It's that there's little technology gremlins running around at nighttime inside of our technology, whether it's networking or computers, and they're just kind of disrupting everything we're trying to do. But yeah, so anyways, obviously, going back to the question, did you kind of have any conversation with Scott Langer in Aberdeen about Caden before bringing him here?
Yeah, I did. I mean, it was just about how he's doing everything right there. They just didn't have the room for him being, an age-out player. They're going on a younger group, and it was like, yeah, you're getting a steal for this kid because he does a lot of the right things, and they just, had a situation like how we had too many players at a point. They had too many players. Until we made it work and got him here. And 4-point night, but 5 points on the weekend for Caden. And it was really good to bring him in and have him be a part of this family here.
Yeah, and then shift into the next guy that comes to mind, bringing on, not so much really necessarily a trade, but bringing into the fold of this team is Gavin Shawn. I mean, we've seen him feature a few times, and obviously during kind of that 5-game losing streak, a lot of those scorelines weren't reflective of how we played as a team, but it felt like Gavin really gave his team a platform in a lot of those games. And it really feels like we have two netminders that are very reliable when called upon as well.
Oh yeah, I mean that's I think the beauty of the back end right now, and Shawn is just he's an absolute workhorse, and he kind of pushes our players to be better on trying to score, and also that puts an edge on Gerard to try to be better himself, to make sure that we continue to have two top goaltenders. So that's like Shawn gets it on what it is to be one of the team, because if he's not in the pipes, he was working his tail off all week, doing the right thing and really pushing our guys. And I think I credit the success to our boys on Saturday night's build-up, basically on how much our goalies were trying throughout the practice week and challenging our guys. So it's just a matter of time when you just puck just starts going in and our goalies are trying their hardest, and it's maybe you catch a goalie that isn't doing his hardest, in a game. And so that's the importance of having, practice and pushing yourself, especially as goaltenders.
Yeah, and obviously the most recent addition that comes to mind is Carter Williams as well, and bringing him in makes me proud. And I think a lot of people were wondering, how quickly this goes for anyone in sports in general, how quickly you can get acclimated to a new environment. You have new teammates, coaches, new systems, and it's not easy at first, but it feels like he really kind of clicked instantaneously. And this weekend got on the score sheet with a goal and assist on Saturday night, so that's got to be great to see out of him as well.
Yeah, I mean, he's gotten, I think, 3 points with us in his first 4 games played. He brings a lot of depth to our lineup, especially a guy that played situations for you on like penalty kill, and he's now starting to prove that he's just going to be a full-out press kind of guy. I love that kind of player for us. So he's been molding his game to the needs of the team too, which is a great thing to have. Players kind of figure out and know thyself on those situations. So yeah, it's. I think all 3 additions have really complemented and helped our team tremendously.
Last question for you here. We have Coach Lucas join us on the broadcast, and I promise no goalie questions only for him. We got some new questions for him this time around. I know he got a little bit of a plate last week. He's like, come on, I'm more than just a goalie guy, which is fair. But obviously, not only alternate identity, Saturday is one of the coolest nights in all of hockey that any team ever does, and it's the Teddy Bear Toss. For you, you've obviously been feedback when you talk. I know why. There we go. Yep, that's fixed. Thank you for letting me know. Appreciate that. Yeah, but obviously, Teddy Bear Toss, you've been a part of quite a few of those in the past as well.
Yeah.
And how fun is that when the teddy bears are out there, like, to just want to jump in a pile of them, start tossing them in the air? And
Yeah, it's always a fun night, right? So we got the alternate identity night there on Friday with those awesome jerseys. It's hopefully our boys dress up accordingly for that night. Maybe a little bit of a rodeo style attire as they come into the rink, and it's going to be a big time night there on the Teddy Bear Toss, because when it comes to that, it goes to a good cause, and what we're donating all to. We're not just having those teddy bears to keep for ourselves. Like, we want to give those to children in need, and that's what we're doing there. So it goes to a great cause, and everything that the boys do in that night. Get you excited to see who's going to make it rain stuffed animals.
You keeping Crew as your pick?
What's that?
You keeping Crew Smith as your pick for the Teddy Bear Toss goal? Or are you changing it up?
Yeah, I don't know. I think it could come from the point. I got to do a little bit more pre-scouting, to see how we're going to attack on Corpus. But
I fixed it.
I'll keep strong with my pick there. I'll just make sure he's on the ice and don't take him off, I guess.
There you go. Yeah, a nice 20-minute shift in the first period alone. I think Crew would appreciate those kind of minutes, but at the end of the night, he's probably going to be waking up feeling a little sore and needing to get a massage the next day.
Yeah.
So, well, Coach.
Yeah, all jokes, though,
Oh, yeah. Thanks for hopping on, and we'll have Assistant
Daniel.
Coach Lucas Stern join us on the air.
Stearns is up.
Yep. Well, I said no goalie questions, but we're only asking you goalie. No, I'm just kidding. I know. I'm just messing around with you. Well, first of all, how are you doing tonight? Is it gonna be the same as always?
You know what? We'll change it up, and we'll give the same answer as always. I'm doing well.
Well, save this one for you because this is obviously one of the things you look at when it comes to video review when you're working with the guys is special teams. I mean, this was a really big past series in terms of special teams, 100% on the penalty kill, but also a couple power play goals as well. How important is it to really see the special teams click, not only in terms of penalty kill, but on power play where it's kind of firing on all cylinders?
I mean, special teams is so important to every team, and it doesn't really matter when it is in the season, whether it's regular season, preseason, or playoffs. Like, special teams is so important because it can single-handedly win or lose you a game, right? So to see our penalty kill really come up huge this past weekend. Like I know, when Hilly and I are going over film with, the PK, the power play, like the guys are so dialed into watching the film, paying attention to the whiteboard. They're asking questions like, hey, what could I do in this situation? What could I do here? Really it's just a credit to them for, putting the work in and just absorbing all the information and then making the right reads on the ice to where it allows them to have that success. So really, it's just a huge credit to them. But it's special teams is massive, and the NHL wouldn't have that saying like, you win and lose on special teams in the playoffs if it wasn't that important, right? So anytime that we have a weekend like this past one, like it feels great.
Well, and staying on the topic of special teams really quickly, because do you ever need to change up how you operate your penalty kill and power play depending on who you're playing, or is it pretty much you like to keep that same balance?
Every team that I think is a little bit different. I know teams that keep things the same no matter what, and they just make a few changes. There's teams that I know go with something different every single time, just to keep things different or just to kind of tune it into who they're going up against, right? So, it really depends on, staff to staff, team to team, program to program, what their philosophy is. And I don't think there's one correct singular answer, right? Because every year your team looks a little bit different, where one year, hey, we're going to run the same power play, we're going to run the same breakout and penalty kill, and we're not going to change it. And then the very next year, it's, well, that didn't work. Let's just keep changing it until we find something. So,
yeah.
Every I guess my answer is everyone's a little bit different. So, really just depends on the coaching staff and the philosophy of those guys.
Yeah, and then one thing that both you and Hilly are really big on is adaptability, and I think that is what I think about coming off of a 5-game losing streak. It was, it's so easy to get caught up in the struggles of, we've been playing really good, but, sometimes the results haven't been fully reflective of that, but really just kind of not shying away from the brand of Amarillo Wranglers hockey that people know of, and just saying, hey, every team's going for its rough patches, but we just got to do our thing. I mean, do you really kind of think a big piece of this weekend was adaptability and kind of the guys not getting in their own head?
Yeah, I mean, the guys have really latched onto that of just being adaptable and just being ready to make changes on the fly. And, like you mentioned, snapping that, losing streak, we could sit back and be like, oh, well, we were playing really good hockey, and we wouldn't be wrong. Like, we had some really good games that we just didn't get the right result at the end of 60 minutes. But, the guys have stayed with the process. They've made changes as we've been going along, and we've just been building. They've been building every week in practice, and Hilsey's done a phenomenal job of saying, hey, we're going to add this piece to the puzzle. We're going to add this to our base and our structure. And the guys have latched onto it, and you can see the progression of what's been going on and what's been happening, over the past couple of weeks where, even though, we did have some losses, not to say I feel bad that we beat up on Shreveport on Saturday, but, you can see what happens when, it's, hey, we're going to play Wrangler hockey, we're going to play a complete game, and, we're not going to take our foot off the gas pedal.
Yeah, exactly. And I think one thing that I noticed really that was a high point on this series that we just had against Shreveport was patience and vision. And I look back at a lot of the assists that we had, and it was just patience with the puck and really waiting to make that clean pass and not trying to force a little bit of a more dangerous pass. And is that kind of something you guys have been preaching to the guys? Just be patient with the puck. There might not be something there right in the second you want to rifle that pass off, but, take the time, survey the options.
I mean, really a lot of those plays, they're a lot of the goals, and I think you mentioned like Saturday night, like all the goals that were going in, like the passes, like those passes are great, but really it just starts from the guys, that are beginning the entire play. That puck doesn't get to, O'Rourke on the point if not for a retrieval, if not for, maintaining the possession where, it may not be the second or third guy to touch the puck and get the primary or secondary assist. Like, it may be the fourth or fifth guy that touches it, moves it around, and then suddenly it's tic-tac-toe, back of the net, another power play goal as you were getting that. So really it's just the guys are, starting to generate plays, and they're, quite honestly, in my opinion, they're just being hockey players. Like, you can tell the guys, like, hey, like, the guy's stick is in the lane, like, don't pass it. But that goes back to, these guys are very, very skilled and talented hockey players. You don't have to tell them, like, hey, if the lane's not there, don't pass it. Like, they already know that stuff. So really they're just exercising the God-given talent that was given to them, and they're just making the right reads, and they're having fun out there.
Yeah, and really what I've noticed out of the forward lines as well over the last few weeks is that it feels like there's a nice complementary blend of what each forward brings to the table. You got a potent goal scorer out there, a forward who's really skilled with the forecheck, not afraid to get down and dirty, nose to the grindstone kind of guy. Then you kind of got a jack of all trades guy who can be reliable as a two-way forward. And I feel like that's what I notice as well is a lot of teams in junior hockey have a lot of forwards that aren't always getting back in the defensive zone to help out when they should be. But it feels like a lot of our forwards, almost if not all of them, have kind of this notion of, hey, I need to get out of the zone and get back immediately to help cover out for the defense.
Yeah, I mean, everyone has a different role to play, right? And it's not just the forwards, it's the defensemen too. Everyone's got a little bit of a different role, and the guys are getting more and more comfortable with either what their role is or getting more comfortable with getting additional roles. So, it's the way that the lines are put together, like there is some strategy behind it that I'm not going to share on the airwaves. But, there's some strategy behind it where, we see something in practice, think guys work well with each other, or maybe, Hillsey makes an adjustment with the forward lines in a game and, that it ends up sticking. So, there's some communication, some conversations that go into, how things are put together, but at the end of the day, you got to find guys that are comfortable playing together.
Yeah, and then last question for you here is really, and I did save one goalie question because I have to ask, what did you see out of Charles Antoine Girard in net this weekend where you just, either a save where just some kind of moment where you just said, wow, I'm glad that guy is on our team and not someone else's.
Man, I'm glad he put his pads on the right legs this week. He's just steady back there. It's aside from shooting the puck at everyone on the bench. It was just a really solid game and weekend by him. Going into the shootout, as a coach, there's always, it's what's going to happen. Like, it's a flip of a coin. Either you score or you don't score. But, it's, with Chucky in the net, like, it's almost like we're playing with a coin with two tails on it. Either they don't score or they don't score. And that's kind of, the confidence that and swagger that he brings to the team. And, he does put his leg pads on the right legs every week, so that's good to see out of him, and he just brings just a great energy to the ice, especially during practice. He really doesn't let me have any free ones. Like, if I go down and try and shoot on him, like he doesn't take it easy on anyone, including the coaches. So when he stops us, he lets us hear about it. But that's the kind of swagger and confidence that both Girard and Sean are bring, and that's what you want in your tandem.
Yeah, exactly. Well, thanks for hopping on. We'll have Mr. Caden Haggerty join us.
For the record, I got Mason Lupo for Teddy Bear toss goal.
We'll have you after him. Yeah, you after.
Should I hold it like this?
Oh, yeah, you can hold it up. Just make sure it's close enough to your mouth so that way people can hear you. Well, first of all, Caden, how you doing tonight?
I'm doing pretty good. How are you?
Well, you got to be buzzing after that 4-point weekend there against, well, on Saturday alone against Shreveport Mudbugs. I mean, how'd that feel having a 4-point night? And it really feels like you and Daniel Rosega are clicking really well.
Yeah, it felt like a sigh of relief, kind of, because for a stretch there, like, we were making good plays, like, getting to the right areas, but the puck just wasn't going in the net, so to have a night like that where it feels like everything's going in, like, definitely gets the confidence back up and knows that, like, if you just keep at it and keep consistently making good plays, that, like, the results will follow.
Yeah. Well, obviously you did not start the season with the Wranglers. You started on over in Aberdeen, and obviously, you know, head coach Michael Hill was an assistant coach under Scott Langer there as well. And did Langer say anything to you when, you know, he told you, hey, you're shipping on over to Amarillo?
Yeah, like, I had a lot of conversations with him. Obviously, like, he's a great coach. Like, I think he has the most wins in the NAL. And, like, as I knew I was getting traded, like, when he said I was going here, he's like, send you here because Hilly's a guy I trust. Like, he coached with me back when we won it in 2019. And since I've been here, like, I can see that a lot of the ways they, like, implement systems or just the way they, like, approach it is definitely very similar. And, like, that made the transition a little bit easier for me. Just, like, it's different, but it's not too different, where it's still the same style of hockey.
Yeah. Well, and that's obviously one thing that's really important to a lot of these guys in junior hockey because, I mean, you see guys getting traded a lot, and that's just kind of the nature of the game at that. So obviously it's got to feel really good going somewhere where you feel like you can just instantly hit the ground running and just gel with everybody.
Yeah, I've loved all my time here. Like, as soon as I got here, the guys and the coaches and everyone were so welcoming and made it really easy to hit the ground running, like you said.
Well, I mean, what is it about the connection with Rosega on the ice that just makes it so easy for you guys to just go out there? Do you guys feel like you have like some telepathic like connection between each other where it's like you just know what each other are doing at the same time?
Yeah, I don't know. I think we're just on the same page a lot of times. Like, he found me a couple times from below the net when I was in the slot, and I think we just kind of think the game similarly, where we always know kind of where each other are without looking, and it makes it a lot easier just to play fast and not have to think as much.
Yeah. Well, so obviously this is one thing that a lot of people talk about is when you're playing in the North American Hockey League, a lot of the guys you play against you've actually played with in the past. Any guys in the South Division that we play against that you've played with before coming into the North American Hockey League?
Yeah, there's a couple guys, but you know, that was a long time ago. Like, there's some guys on El Paso that I've played with, but you kind of just forget all about that as soon as the puck drops. Like, you're not buddies with anybody else.
Do you ever just like kind of like if you ever get the better of them after a game, you ever just text them and just be like, oh hey, like, you know, got you this time, you know, if you think you're getting me next time, keep dreaming, buddy? You guys have some friendly banter at all?
During the season, not a lot.
Okay.
More in the off season, if I see them, like, you'll talk about whether who won or who lost or like how you did. But like during the season, I'm kind of just locked in here and not really worried about other guys on other teams.
So what's the biggest difference you would say there is between the Central and the South Division? I mean, obviously you could say physicality, and I would say that's just an easy free answer. But outside of the physicality, what would you say is a big difference in terms of the two divisions?
I think both divisions are really good. It's a little bit different. I'd say the South is a little bit more defensive. Like, all the teams are super dialed into their structure, and it makes it hard to get grade A opportunities. Like, a lot of the systems kind of push you to the outside or force you, like, kind of swarm you down low and force you to get it to the points. But yeah, like, It's similar all over the league. It's just a little bit more structured and physical, I'd say, down here.
So obviously being a Minnesota-born kid, when you were born, did you already have a hockey stick in your hands?
Yeah, basically, like my dad played growing up, and I think my grandpa played, and so my dad, I don't know if he was scheming or it just happened, but by the time I was walking, I was already trying to skate, so it's always just kind of been a part of me.
Yeah. Well, Caden, thank you so much for hopping on. Appreciate you, and we'll have Mr. Mason Lupo. Oh yeah, you can put it on. Trick of the trade is just do one ear so that way you can hear. I would say do that. Yeah, that's the professional. Oh yeah, here. Yeah, take it off the ear so that way you can hear. Otherwise, you're good. And then we'll fix this on up for you. Well, Mason, first of all, how you doing tonight?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm doing pretty darn good as well. Obviously, I think everybody around the team and the fan base as well is feeling really good after that series sweep against the Mudbugs.
For sure.
Kind of from your perspective, what was one of the key things that really gave you guys the platform if you had to pinpoint something?
I think it was just coming together as a team and really believing that we were going to win and get out of that little hole we were in.
Yeah, and one thing that I think a lot of fans could pinpoint as well about your game that I've noticed a lot is really it's the tenacity that you bring to this team. And I mean, we were talking about it with Coach Hilly and Cernsey, is the adaptability of the guys and knowing their roles. And for you, I mean, kind of has that always been a role that you have brought for your entire time playing junior hockey, is kind of this enforcer, you know, really strong on the forward check, creating a lot of opportunities for physicality?
I think it was kind of something I developed through the years and kind of learned as I went on, and I kind of fell into that, and it's kind of helped me ever since.
Well, it's got to feel really good getting on the score sheet, obviously, with the lamp on Saturday night. And what is that like for momentum for, you know, some guys who, you know, they might not see the score sheet every single night based off the role that they're playing for a team?
Yeah.
Does that really kind of help carry the momentum for you going into the next series?
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of just like me, Thornton Williams. We obviously had a good game on Saturday, but I think our mindset going in was just play our role, play a two-way game, and kind of just do what we need to do and play physical, play hard, and get the job done.
Yeah, and then for you so far this season, what has been kind of the biggest moment in your mind of growth for yourself where you kind of go, wow, I've really grown in this aspect as a hockey player?
I think as the games went on, I kind of fell into a role, and I've been kind of playing it a little better and just learning and finding my spot on the team, what I need to do to help us win games.
Yeah, and then what's it like learning under Hilly and Stearnsy? I mean, how's that whole process been? Because, you know, obviously everybody, you know, has throughout the time that they play junior hockey, 16U and all that kind of stuff, different coaches. Has it just been a really great experience where you feel like that you can go to them with anything, like, hey, you know, like this is something I feel like I'm struggling with, or, you know, hey, like I got an idea for something?
Yeah, I think that they've done a great job of creating relationships with players and kind of learning not only who they are on the ice but off the ice. And I think that's great as a player. You got to talk to your coach and sort through things, and I think they've done a great job of that.
Yeah. Well, and then obviously as well, you guys got to be really excited for Friday with the alternate identity, and obviously you got to take a look at that. You guys excited to wear those?
Yeah, all the boys saw the jerseys a few days ago, and we're super hyped. They look pretty sick, and we're just excited to wear them.
Yeah, and then I also asked both the coaches about this, but who are you going to put out there in the universe to get the Teddy Bear Toss go on Saturday?
I'm going to say Caden Haggerty.
There you go.
Yep.
Well, for the rest of this season, how important is it that we really don't have a whole lot of back-to-back road series? Because, I mean, I looked at the schedule yesterday, and there's, I mean, a couple different stretches where we have, you know, 4 games at home before we have 2 on the road. Then we're back at home for 4. Then we're, you know, on the road for 2, back at home for 6. I mean, how important is that home ice advantage going to be for the second half of the season for making a playoff push?
Yeah, I think it'll be really important. I mean, we got a lot of those away games out of the way early in the season, and I think that we're going to be able to take a lot of points at home, and I think that'll be good for us.
Yeah, and then obviously we have not played against Corpus at all this season. First time playing them. Is there kind of really anything that you guys have seen out of their game where you got to change anything up at all?
No, I think that Hilly and Stearnsy do a great job of preparing us every week for these games, and we watch a lot of film and prepare a lot. So I think it's just the same thing as always.
And then as well, how important has it been getting the special teams going? Because, I mean, that was a Friday and Saturday, 100% penalty kill. We had a couple power play goals. And, I mean, I think a lot of people would look back and say we started really good on special teams, kind of had a little bit of a dip for a little bit. Is it just kind of same with that same system and just kind of having that belief?
Yeah, I mean, we've learned a lot throughout the games, and I think that obviously power play is going to be on and off, PK is going to be on and off, and I think that from now on we've kind of learned a lot, and we're gonna be pretty steady with PK and power play.
Well, appreciate you hopping on,
Thank
Mason
you, Danny.
Lupo. Then we'll have our last guest of the evening on over here. Welcome on, good sir. Why don't you go ahead and let the fun people know who you are and your role with the West Texas Wranglers.
All right, my name is William Andergren, and yeah, I'm here all the way from Sweden, play hockey and trying to help the team as much as I can, offensively mostly.
Well, obviously we got a couple of Swedes, and how's your connection with Alphonse Chandler? He's another Swede as well.
Yeah, he's a great guy. We actually built it together for the first month and a half maybe. So he's just a great guy, and we didn't know each other from before, but we kind of, it's easy to get to know each other when you're the only one. So yeah, he's a great guy, and we had some great times together.
Well, obviously, you guys got a big event coming up, the NA4HL Showcase, really huge opportunity. You're going to have a lot of scouts for North American Hockey League teams. You know, everybody in the NA3 is always kind of having North American Hockey League scouts and coaches taking a peek at them, but also as well some college scouts and everything like that. It's a really big event that the league puts on. How excited are you guys for that event? I mean, that's got to be an awesome thing.
Yeah, I'm super excited, and I think the team is too. And yeah, we've been working hard on all the system kind of stuff to make sure we stand out system-wise and have a good structure coming into this weekend. And I think it's going to be a great weekend, to be honest.
Yeah, obviously you guys got a bit of a bus ride heading up to Minnesota.
Yeah.
But at the same time, kind of allows for a lot of team bonding. I mean, is that kind of what you guys are looking at it in that regard of, hey, we're stuck on a bus for quite some time, but, we might as well continue to grow our bonds as a team.
The bus rides are always great. It's always team bonding, and no matter if we play poker or listen to music or play games, we always have a good time together, and it's a great bonding time too. Just getting to know each other more personally and everything.
Well, how exciting is it to get to play teams from outside of your division? Because, I mean, obviously in the South Division, you're playing against the same 5 or 6 teams every single season, and then you're kind of just all right, well, I'm getting sick and tired of playing Tulsa for the 8th time this year. Yeah. But, I mean, it's got to be pretty exciting getting to play some new teams.
Yeah, we're really excited to play different teams and see kind of where we're at compared to the other divisions and everything. So we're super excited. It's going to be a fun time.
Yeah, and then obviously, what is one thing you've noticed in a difference between maybe not only just Swedish hockey, but Nordic hockey compared to how American hockey is played?
I would say the smaller rink has a big deal. Back home, we have this big Olympic size sheets, so we have much more bigger, more room to skate and everything. So I would say the biggest part is over there we're more skilled skaters, but here it's tighter spaces. You have to make quicker decisions. It's also more of a north-south hockey more than a east-west hockey. because mostly in like Sweden and no, like the Nordics, we play like mostly east and west. But here is like, if you don't have any chance, you go north no matter what. So that's also a big difference.
Who's been one or two guys on the West Texas team that you've really kind of gravitated towards? Because obviously for a lot of the international guys, when it comes to playing over in America, you know, it's not easy at first, but you kind of got to find one or two guys and say, hey, you know, you're the guy, you know, we're going to play some golf every weekend or something like that. Who have been two guys that you've really kind of hung around with?
I would just say this, we have a great group of guys, all of us. So, but we've been hanging out most of the team, like most of the times. But maybe the two I've been hanging out most with is two Canadians. It's Kalen Cross and Vivian Sood. So they're kind of an outsiders too. But so we've been hanging out, playing golf every weekend.
Yeah, then obviously it's got to be a little bit difficult at times for the team being the new kids on the block in the South Division. I mean, it's the first season that the West Texas Wranglers have existed.
Yeah.
But how has it been playing under Coach Austin Sutter and Britt Brooks? I mean, it's got to feel pretty good having two coaches like that know the game to a high degree and make it feel like, yeah, we're the new kids on the block, but we're feeling comfortable and we're able to take some games off some top dogs.
Yeah, they definitely would know what they're doing. They've been in the game for a long time, and they know this, like the division and everything. And I think that really helped us as a group to get like their leadership, just walk in with professionalism and just trying to be as professionals as possible in everyday situation, in games, like in the locker room, just billet families. Just they're setting a good example for us.
Yeah. Well, on top of that as well, you know, obviously being an international player in the North American Hockey League, you know, how is it like? I mean, do you still get to talk to your family every now and then? Obviously, there's a big time zone difference where when it's morning here, it's nighttime there, and vice versa. And, you know, are they able to catch some games on NATV as well?
Yeah, I almost talk to my parents like every day, if not multiple times a week. But yeah, in the weekends they have like developed this nightly routine, so they go to bed early and they wake up to watch my games at 2 o'clock in the morning. So yeah, they really support me as much, and I'm really appreciative of all their work. And so yeah.
Well, obviously for you guys, you know, it's kind of this midway point in the season. What is really the goal you guys are pushing for that you want to achieve most when the season ends?
Like, we're an expansion team, so we're hoping for our goal is to make the playoffs. And if we can make the playoff, we can like beat any team, because we've already beaten the Brahmas and the Austin Ice Bats. So if we make the playoffs, we have a good run for going all the way. That's the goal for the season and the team. And I think that like guys are bought into this and really work hard to accomplish these goals and make the playoffs.
Yeah, and then last question for you. I mean, really kind of talk to us about the environment at those West Texas home games. You know, obviously there's not as much actual seating, but I mean, it's got to feel great knowing that there's fans out there that are going to, you know, be willing to stand for 3 to 4 hours on end and cheer you guys on.
Yeah, it's been great actually. I know it's a small rink, but it feels like packed. You don't even need that many people for it to feel packed. So, and it's like, especially the home games, we get like people just standing around the glass, banging in the glass and using air horns and whatever stupid shit they have going on. So it's been a great atmosphere actually to play in.
Yeah. Well, appreciate you hopping on, and that's going to do it for us with the Coaches Show this week. And good luck up in Minnesota for the showcase. But we're going to end it there. Thanks so much, everyone, for stopping on into the Coaches Show this week, and we'll have another one next week as well.